Hi Captain. If you're enjoying our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.
This is Gatwick Control. I understand 2 male passengers are fighting on the aircraft.
During taxi, Absolute 678 suffered a tyre blowout. The pilot requested a tow truck to take him back to the apron to fix it. The passengers took another flight 2 hours later.
Sao Paulo Tower, Alpha Oscar 666. We just had a tail strike during takeoff. I request an immediate return to the airport. During a flight from Auckland to Singapore, a pregnant woman goes into labour and gives birth to a baby boy. There is no doctor on board, so the chief purser helps with the delivery. The pilot informs ATC and requests an immediate diversion to Brisbane.
Absolute 989, turn left 270 and descend to flight level 170. Confirm that you need maintenance service after landing. At Stansted Airport, the ground staff went on strike, so the baggage of flight Absolute 323 was delayed for 4 hours. The passengers were very upset and demanded to see the manager.
Sorry, was that 30 minutes to take off?
Mayday, 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 Absolute 111. We had an air conditioning failure causing a cabin depressurization. I have deployed the oxygen masks and started to descend to flight level 100. We require an immediate diversion to Beijing.
Pan, Absolute 789, one of our engines has just failed. I request immediate descent to flight level 7000 and return to Luton.
During final approach at JFK, Absolute 787 encountered severe hail. The pilot couldn't see the runway, so performed a missed approach. He circled the airport for 30 minutes, waiting for the hail to stop, and eventually landed safely.
Absolute 787, I understand you can't land due to bad weather and require runway 7 right.
Before takeoff from Paris Charles de Gaulle, a suspicious package was found on flight Absolute 987. The flight attendant reported it to the captain and all passengers were disembarked immediately.
Absolute 987, I understand, Captain, that you have a missing passenger and you need to return to the gate.
During cruise from Rio de Janeiro to Salvador, Absolute 767 suffers a compressor stall on the right-hand engine and needs an immediate diversion to Vitoria.
New York Control, Absolute 754. The passenger tried to open the door during flight. Request emergency descent to 8,000 feet and diversion to Boston.
During cruise from London to Seville, AO 989 alternated to Paris because of smoke on board. The crew managed to find the fire and extinguish it, but the pilot diverted because of safety reasons.
AO 989, Paris Control. Confirm that you have drunk passengers on board and request police service.
After takeoff from Dublin, the master captain on AO 687 reported a dual engine failure. He informed ATC and advised the crew to get ready for an emergency landing on a farm.
AO 687, please confirm that you'll be ditching in the sea.
Pan, Absolute 222. We are going through wake turbulence. We have rolled. We are having problems controlling the aircraft. Request directions to the nearest airport.
During approach, Absolute 767 had a runway incursion at Mombasa Airport. 2 elephants ran across the runway and the aircraft performed a go-around.
Flight Absolute 879 is delayed at Toronto due to a passenger no-show. The flight has been at the gate for 30 minutes while the ground staff are looking for the passenger.
Sorry, Captain. Did you say you need to take off in 10 minutes due to missing baggage? Cockpit, this is maintenance. I can see a problem with the landing gear. No problem, Captain. I understand you need to stay in your position for 10 minutes.
Pan, Absolute 787. We have just shut down our left engine due to a bird ingestion. We request priority to land and maintenance service upon landing.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Gatwick departure. Absolute 654. We have a suspected fuel leak and request vectors to the nearest airport.
Roger, Absolute 654. I can see vapour coming from the wing. Turn left, heading 080 and maintain flight level 070.
Roger. Turn left, heading 170, climb to flight level 080. Absolute 654.
Porto Alegre Control, Absolute 786. Request to divert to the nearest airport. A passenger has fainted and it looks like he has had a heart attack. He is breathing.
Absolute 786, Roger. I'll give you vectors to Joinville. Turn right heading 175, descend and maintain flight level 200. I'll let them know you need fire service after landing.
Captain, the passenger's shaking on the floor. He's just stopped breathing and is turning pale. What should I do?
You are the pilot of Absolute 785. The plane is at the gate. Boarding is almost finished, but the catering has not arrived yet. The flight is due to depart in 50 minutes.
Captain, sorry, did you say 15 minutes for takeoff?
Frankfurt departure Absolute 749. We have a slat asymmetry and it's difficult to control the aircraft.
Absolute 749. What are your intentions?
Absolute 749, vectors for long final and a priority to land.
Los Angeles Control, this is Absolute 912, passing flight level 100 to 6000, information Juliet. We're showing heavy rain on the radar on short final. Please confirm.
Absolute 912, Los Angeles approach. Continue approach. The weather is getting better. I'll keep you advised. Absolute 912, I'll give you runway 7 left. Confirm that you have the runway in sight. Captain, you are number 2 to land. Continue approach. I understand that you have runway in sight. Call tower on 116.00.
During cruise from London to Palma, the flight attendants start serving lunch. All of a sudden, the flight encounters severe turbulence. The pilot turns on the seatbelt signs and orders the flight attendants to suspend the meal service.
Absolute 723, Roger, you're cleared to descend to flight level 320.
Captain, a passenger has reported the smell of petrol in the toilet. Please give me instructions.
While you were doing the walk around, the ground staff informed you that there was a change in the cargo loading and that you need to recalculate your C of G. An Airbus A330 carrying 251 passengers and 10 crew was forced to ditch in the River Thames following a double engine failure from Dubai to Gatwick. The problem happened after both engines ingested birds during the descent. The pilot successfully ditched the aircraft and all the passengers survived.
Absolute 243, sorry, did you really say you'll be ditching the Thames?
Passengers, please stay calm and prepare for the escapes to be released. Absolute 960, I understood that you have a slat asymmetry and need maintenance service after landing.
After takeoff, the pilot of Absolute 534 discovers a hydraulic leak coming from the left wing. He decides to divert to Congonhas and requests emergency services upon landing.
Brasilia Center, Absolute 754. Because of strong winds at our cruise level, I request to proceed straight to Brasilia for refueling.
Absolute 754, cleared to proceed from present position direct to Brasilia. Advise me when ready to descend.
Roger, we'll call back for descent.
Absolute 432, please repeat. Did you have a fire on board and want to divert?
During taxi at Munich Airport, the first officer realizes that the aircraft has a burst tire. The captain informs ATC about the problem and requests to return to the gate and maintenance service on arrival. During cruise from Cairo to Israel on flight Absolute 432, two passengers threaten the flight attendants with guns and want to enter the cockpit. It seems to be a hijacking. They ask all the passengers to keep quiet and keep seated.
Absolute 342, please confirm that you had a tire blowout and request gate Tango 3.